आज ही डाउटनेट ऐप डाउनलोड करें। डाउटनेट पर होगा अब आपके सभी मैथ्स, केमिस्ट्री, फिजिक्स और बायोलॉजी डाउट्स का सफाया। बस अपने क्वेश्चन की फोटो खींचो, उसे क्रॉप करो और तुरंत वीडियो सोल्यूशन पाओ। डाउनलोड नाउ।
Okay students, let's start solving this question. We have to solve the equation where it is given that mod sine inverse cos x plus cos inverse sine x is equal to sine inverse cos x minus cos inverse sine x, where x is between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So guys, let's start solving this question. So first of all, we have to write the condition which is given to us, right? So it is root of mod sine inverse of mod cos x, right? Yeah, they both are in mod, right? Plus cos inverse, actually it is also in mod, right? Sine x. Yeah, this is end up to full mod. So it is equal to sine inverse of mod cos x minus cos inverse of mod sine x, and it is given that our x is between pi by 2 and it is up to minus pi by 2, pi by 2, right? So guys, we have to solve this thing, right? So first of all, let me tell you, our x is belonging to 0 to pi by 2, right? If we are considering the positive sign, right? So now what we are going to do is we are converting this cos into sine and sine into cos, right? So let's start solving this question. So it is root, right? So it is actually mod, so mod sine inverse of sine pi by 2 minus x. Yeah, and here similarly it is going to be cos inverse cos, yeah, it is actually in mod, right? Pi by 2 minus x. We are just converting this cos into sine and sine into cos. So similarly we are converting into right hand side also. So it is sine inverse of sine pi by 2 minus x. Yeah, this guy is actually is mod, right? Minus cos inverse, it is going to be, yeah, this is mod cos pi by 2 minus of x, right guys? So we are considering this left hand side and right hand side by converting them into cos into sine and sine into cos, right? So similarly what we are going to get is, or we can say that it is actually the root of 2 pi by 2 minus x, which is equal to, this is pi by 2 minus x minus pi by 2 plus x, right? We are just taking this. We know that sine inverse sine theta is equal to our theta. Similarly cos inverse cos theta is equal to our theta. So we are applying this concept here, right? So now this is in the simplest form. So when we simplify this thing, we can find that our x is equal to our pi by 2, right? So guys, I already told you that, and now I'm again telling, when our x belongs to minus pi by 2 comma 0. Actually in first part we are taking in positive thing, and now we are taking into negative part, right? So now this thing, right? So now in what we are going to do is we have to again doing the same thing. So it is root, actually this is, we have to make a bigger root, right? So now it is sine inverse of sine pi by 2 minus, yeah, this is x, right? Similarly we have to make plus cos inverse of minus cos pi by 2 minus x, correct student? So now it is equal to sine inverse of sine pi by 2 minus of x, where similarly minus cos inverse of minus cos pi by 2 minus of, sorry guys, actually it is going to be, yeah, actually it is going to be minus cos pi by 2 minus of x, right? So now what we are going to do is we are going to same thing what we have done earlier. So now it is actually is going to be this big root. Yeah, it is pi minus pi by 2 minus x. Similarly here it is going to be plus pi minus cos inverse of cos pi by 2 minus of x. Right guys? We're just making simplification. Nothing we are doing here, right? And right hand side remain as it is, right? This thing remain as it is. Okay, let me write it for you. The sine inverse of no, actually what we are going to do, we have to change this thing, right? Again here it is minus. So now what we are going to do is, yeah. So now what we are going to do is we have to change this also in the same position what we had done in the left hand side. So now it is going to be pi minus pi by 2 minus x, right? Minus pi plus cos inverse, right? And here it is going to be our same thing, which is cos pi by 2 minus of x, right guys? So now let's start solving more simplification, right? We are just doing more simplification, so it better to solve this thing. So it is pi by 2, right, plus x plus pi, and again it is going to be minus pi by 2 minus of x, right guys? So same into right hand side, it is going to be our pi by 2 plus x minus pi plus pi by 2 minus of x. So now guys, we clearly stated that our root over pi plus 2x is equal to 0, right? So similarly we can further conclude that our x is equal to minus pi by 2, right guys? So we can clearly find that there are the two values, right, for the x, which is minus pi by 2 and pi by 2, and in the given condition it is also satisfying, right? So it is x is equal to pi minus pi by 2 here in the negative condition, and the positive it is going to be x is equal to pi by 2. So we are able to solve this question, right? So thank you very much student.
क्लास 6 से 12 से लेके नीट IIT JEE मेंस और एडवांस के लेवल तक 10 मिलियन से ज़्यादा स्टूडेंट्स का भरोसा। आज ही डाउनलोड करें डाउटनेट ऐप या व्हाट्सएप कीजिए अपने डाउट्स 8400 400 400 पर।